Following on from the DJI 1.4.0 update that we saw earlier today, we've now got a other update. This is 4.11.16, and this is a controller update. So now using the RC-N1 controller, which is a controller that we have with the DJI Mini 2, the Air 2, and now the new Air S2, just means that now it's got support so it can switch between all three of the drones. This is a great added feature because now it means if you're going to take a couple of drones with you, say the Air 2S and the Mini 2, which I'll probably be doing quite a lot, I only have to take the one remote controller with me and not have to carry both of them. As we know, this controller is pretty bulky. It's a great controller. I'm not going to go into all that, but it is big. You know, it's bigger than the actual Mini 2. So not having to lug around both or potentially all three is a great option, and it's a good update. So that's available now as well. So go and update that if you've not already. And then I've had a few people asking me in regards to the exposure. The exposure lock seems to be now missing on the 1.4.0. So thanks so much to those guys who have mentioned this, because I wasn't aware about this when I first tested out this new Fly update. So by looking now, we've got it into Pro mode, and this now, if you look in the bottom right hand corner, this is where all your settings are, and it does appear, I've tried different things, it doesn't appear you can lock your exposure, which is really concerning, and hopefully that will come really soon. In that Pro mode, you'll see there is no exposure value whatsoever. You can just change all your manual settings, your shutter speed and your ISO to get your correct exposure, but in auto mode you used to be able to just click on the screen and that will then lock your exposure and you'd have like a little icon, but you don't have that at all on this Fly update. So it appears now that it's either been left out and it's not been addressed, or it locks that exposure automatically for you in auto and it won't change unless you actually move the sliders. And there is nothing at all to indicate that that exposure is locked. I've even gone through the settings about at least 50 times, and under camera there's nothing there relating to exposure about having to lock it or not. If anyone has figured this out, please let me know in the comments. I'll give you credit definitely for doing so, but at the moment it doesn't seem to be an option there, not that I can find anyway. If someone else does let me know, that would be excellent. If you hold your finger down in Pro mode, you just as normal can change the gimbal tilt up and down. When you're on full auto, there is an exposure value on the bottom corner. You'll see now, if you just take a look, it says 0.0, and as I'm turning around, that exposure is staying the same. So it looks like what they've done is it locks it automatically. I'm not really sure 100%, but there isn't an icon there to say it's locked or unlocked, but it looks like in auto you can click on it and you can change that slide around. So that appears, for me anyway, that's what you're going to do. If you double click on it, you get these little yellow icons on. They don't last on the screen very long, they go off. Again, it doesn't really tell you much. There's no lock icon with doing that, but that exposure doesn't change. It's only obviously when you put it into Pro mode where you can actually tell the difference, but that's because you have to change your own settings yourself. So in Pro, you're going to have to change it to get your current levels that you want, and in auto you can actually move that slider all the way down to 2.0 to plus 2.0, and then once it's like that, it doesn't change. I've just tested it really quickly to just comment on you guys who are asking this question, but for me, once it's there, it seems to does lock. So I think that's the angle which DJI are going for. They're not going to release the Air 2S with all these amazing features and have a problem with the exposure, but in auto, the exposure value, there isn't a lock icon at the moment. They probably will bring one out to address this. In obviously Pro, you're going to have to set your own values as you would do anyway, and use an ND filter. It's definitely helps. But in auto, my apologies, you can go all the way up to +3 or -3, and then once it's like that, it won't move. It's not locked as in an icon, but it seems to stay at that exposure level. I'm now turning round and there's nothing changing with that exposure. It's not being blown out, so it all seems to be done digitally through the actual auto mode that's sorting everything out for you. But we would like to see some icon just to confirm that, and that will help a lot of people out, because at the moment we were so used to just double tapping on that screen and we'd get a lock icon, right, that exposure is locked, brilliant, there we go. But at the moment it's not 100% confirmed. You can also still control your drone when you're not actually on on the Fly app. So I'm actually using my phone, I'm actually filming now on the actual camera app, and then I'm still controlling it like I could do before. I've spoken about, I really like this feature. That's brilliant, that's good to see. So I think we will get a lock icon or something soon, but it appears that's the route DJI seem to go into in auto. It automatically locks that exposure for you. That seems to be what they're doing. By moving that slider, it gives you that option, and then it's going to be locked automatically. Listen, I would love to be proven wrong or be told something different, or if you find out the actual way of where to get this lock icon from, please let me know. It'd be great to hear from you. See you all soon, guys. Bye bye.